is the mid-year book Freakout tag. This was created by Ellie, whose channel I will link below. I'm recording this a little bit before the end of the midway point of the year, the end of June, but I need to record this before I go away on holiday, so these answers aren't going to be entirely accurate because I might read a really good book in the last 2 weeks of June, but I don't know, I just feel like it's unlikely. I feel like my answers are pretty set right now, so here we go. The first question is, what is the best book you've read so far this year? And that has to be the Immortality Thief. This was my first 5-star of the year. I went out and got a special edition of it because it's just such a stunning book, and I've read the sequel as well. Absolutely loved that too. This follows a linguist called Sean who has a criminal past, and in order to get out of that and get out of prison or jail, he is sent on a mission to an abandoned spaceship to go and get some data. And this ship is super creepy. There's massive horror vibes, there's creatures on there. It's not very nice, but Sean does find a very nice family who he bonds with, and it's just lovely. I have a very interesting ship in this series, which is always good. That's always sort of elevates a book for me when I can find a crack ship. It's just wonderful. I do want to reread this one and do a full review on this and the sequel, and I just really hope that the book series gets picked up for a third book because it hasn't been, as far as I know, and we will need a third book, please. So please go out and purchase the series because it's absolutely fantastic. I love it so much. It's definitely the best book that I've read so far this year. The next question is, what is the best sequel you've read so far this year? And for that I have to choose The Traitor Queen. This isn't a sequel that came out this year, this came out quite a while ago, but this is the sequel to The Bridge Kingdom, book 2 in the series, and it's absolutely fantastic. This is the end of Lara and Aaron's story, or like focused point of view story, and they still show up obviously in the rest of the series, but it's a political fantasy romance series that follows Aaron and Lara, who are from 2 different warring kingdoms. Lara starts out as an assassin who is meant to kill Aaron, and Aaron is the ruler of this really secret Bridge Kingdom. I've actually posted a recap of the first book on my channel if you want to go and check that out, and I will soon be recapping this one. I love the sequel so much. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic way to wrap up Aaron and Lara's story. Cannot recommend this series enough. The finale of this book, you can see all my tabs actually, look at that. Finale, the last few chapters of this, my heart was in my throat. It was traumatic to say the least, so absolutely love this one. The next question is, what is the new release that you mean to read? No, what is the new release that you haven't read yet but want to? I haven't yet read Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. I've got it on my Kindle or my e-reader, but I still haven't read it. I've gotten, I think, like 20-something% in, and honestly, because it's on my e-reader, I keep forgetting that I've got it, but I don't want to buy a physical copy because it's only out in hardback at the moment, and the rest of my Beth O'Leary books are out in paperback, or I own in paperback. Yeah, that's one that I definitely need to get to soon, but I haven't yet. Question number 4 is, what is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? And I have a few. Off the top of my head, we have Human Rights coming out in July by Juno Dawson. Really looking forward to that. We've also got Holly Jackson's first adult book, which is Not Dead Yet, or Not Quite Dead Yet, something like that. That's coming out in July as well. We have the third Legends and Lattes book coming out towards the end of the year, I think in November. And there's also Mates by Ali Hazelwood, which is coming out in October. Really hyped for that. So yeah, quite a few new releases still to come. Question number 5 is, what is your biggest disappointment? And I think a lot of people will be choosing this, I assume. That's going to be Onyx Storm. I know there are going to be people who are like, Fourth Wing wasn't even that good, Iron Flame was terrible, I don't know why you're anticipating this one. But the thing is, I still enjoyed Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and I thought they were kind of, Fourth Wing in particular was like a solid compact story, and the pacing was really good, and we had a really good amount of like snark and relationship stuff and character development. Onyx Storm, absolutely not. The characters are still in the same place that they were at the end of Iron Flame. This book just feels like a filler book to me. Sure, some things happened, we learned a little bit more about the world, but it wasn't the sequel that I was kind of hoping for. I think going from Iron Flame, which wasn't as good as Fourth Wing, but it still like kind of got you where you needed to be, this one, I don't really see the point of it, apart from exploring the islands and stuff. But I feel like we could have explored some islands as maybe a spin-off or a novella in the middle of this series, and we could learn about the history of the islands that way, instead of the characters jumping from one island to another and learning about the island's whole history through Violet's eyes. It was just boring. And again, the characters are at basically the same place as they were at the end of Iron Flame. I think I was expecting more Dimitri Vampire Academy vibes, but that's not really what I got. So yeah, I was disappointed in this one. The next question is, what was your biggest surprise? And for this, I absolutely have to say, The Bridge Kingdom. I wasn't expecting to like this one so much, or love it so much. I gave it 5 stars. I thought this was just gonna be another like hyped romantic fantasy book, but actually the world building and the character development is fantastic and really quite deep and in depth. I was really shocked by how much I adored this one. I definitely wasn't expecting it to be 5 stars. It would never have been on my 5-star prediction list, but here we are. Question number 7 is who is your new favourite author? And I think I have to mention Danielle L. Jensen again. I didn't like A Fate Inked in Blood at all. I gave that one, I gave it 3 stars, like it was alright, but looking back probably it's more of a 2.5. But she put something in this series, the Bridge Kingdom series, like I don't know what she does, but they're so addictive. And even though A Fate Inked in Blood wasn't very good in my opinion, I will still be picking up the rest of her series and reading through her backlog because this series is just so fantastic. And so I think that makes her count as a new favourite author because I want to go back and explore her back there. Question number 8 is who is your newest fictional crush? And I probably don't have one. I don't really crush on characters, but Aaron and Lara probably count because I ship them so hard. Actually no, okay. I have to mention the Nightmare from One Dark Window. Yeah, let's say the Nightmare for this question. Question number 9 is who is your newest favourite character? And again, I really like the Nightmare, but I feel like he was a little bit underdeveloped for me. Like the author could have done a lot more with him. And so again, I'm gonna go with Lara from the Bridge Kingdom. I'm sorry if this is getting really repetitive. Let me have a quick scroll through my reading spreadsheet so I can hopefully give you someone else that I've read about, because I've read, what, like 70 something books so far this year, and I must have other memorable characters. Let's see. I really liked the main characters from the favourites, but again, I don't know, because I can't remember their names, I don't know if they really stood out that much. I'm not sure I would call them favourites. I've been reading some Murderbot this year, and I really love Murderbot, but it isn't a new favourite character because I met Murderbot of years ago. Oh, obviously I have Sean and Indigo. Those are also 2 favourites of mine. Also Lanternized from this book. If you've not read this book, then what I'm saying right now is just going to be complete nonsense to you, but I love them, so the characters from these series. Question number 10 is what is a book that made you cry? If I hold up the Traitor Queen, you're going to quit off of this video, but it did genuinely make me cry. The Immortality Thief also made me cry, so there's those 2. That's why they're my favourites of the year though. So these questions, like, they're built to sort of have overlapping answers, I think, because it's all connected. I don't think I've really read anything like super distressing yet. I've got a couple of things on my list for July and later on in the year, so those things will really make me cry. I did also cry a little bit at Two Twisted Crowns. This is the sequel to One Dark Window, because the ending, I knew what was coming because it had to end that way, but I was really upset that it did. So yeah, I've been crying over the same characters in the same series all year. Question number 10 is what is a book that made you happy? And I've got a really weird answer for this one. It's The September House. And this is a horror book about a haunted house, but it did make me really happy because, partly because of the ending, but also because I enjoyed the book so much and I wasn't expecting to find such a good haunted house book. And so I was really happy that I did, and therefore the book made me happy. And also it's got some really like good, almost found family vibes in a way, in that if you've read this book then you know what I mean. And it's kind of like a positive twist on a haunted house story while still being really like gory and graphic. So yeah, The September House for this one. I know that's such a weird answer. The next question is what is your favourite book to movie adaptation you've seen so far this year? I don't know if I have seen one. I've not really been watching much TV. Well, I have. That's a lie. I've been watching a lot of Traitors and Survivor, and that's about it. I don't know if there are any that I'm like particularly looking for. Oh no, I've seen a couple of episodes of Murderbot as well actually, so I guess that would be my answer, but I've only seen 2 episodes so far because again I've just been so distracted by Survivor. What basically happened was I watched Traitors US season 3 in February, and then I was so obsessed with Boston Rob that I went back and watched Survivor from the beginning, and now I'm on season 12, and I'm really happy that I did, because now people from Survivor are going to be in Traitors US season 4, and I'm going to know who they are and I can get in on the hype. This is a whole tangent about Traitors and Survivor and reality TV that I never thought I would be making, but here we are. I am obsessed. You guys should watch Survivor. The next question is what is the most beautiful book you bought this year? And that absolutely has to be A Song of Legends Lost. This is the Illumicrate edition. I think this is like May Illumicrate maybe? Absolutely stunning. I adore it. The artwork is beautiful. I've not read it yet, so I don't know what it's about, but it is a very stunning book. Question number 15 is what books do you really need to read by the end of the year? And I'm glad it says need here rather than want to read, because I want to read every book on my shelf by the end of the year. But what I've actually done is I've chosen some books that I would really like to reread. I never really make the time for rereads, and I really should, because obviously I'm keeping these books on my read shelf in order to reread them because I've loved them. So I've got a few books here. The first one being Akatar. This isn't one that like I'm dying to reread, but my friend did tell me that it gets better after book 1. I gave this book 1 star when I first read it, when it first came out. I had an arc of it and I gave it 1 star. This might be why publishers hate me. So I want to reread this one so that I can read maybe the rest of the series, but definitely book 2, and so I can see like what all the hype is about, because people do seem to dislike this first one but then love the next books in the series. So we will see. I just need to get through this book again first. I've also got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I actually meant to pick out the second book, which is Good Girl Bad Blood, but I've just seen it there out of order on my shelf. So I'm meant to be rereading the second book in this series so that I can recap it for my channel. But I might reread the first one as well, why not? And then I also really want to reread Moon of the Crusted Snow because I want to read the sequel. And I remember really enjoying this first book. It was really atmospheric, really creepy, and it's so short. I feel like I can just reread it and then pick up the next one. It's just over 100 pages, I think, just over 200, so it won't take long for me to reread at all. And then I want to reread one of my all-time favourite books, which is The Adventures of Mina al-Sarafi. This is the first book in, hopefully, a long series by Shannon Chakraborty. I think, as far as I'm aware, she's still writing the second book, but that is hopefully coming out in 2026, so I can reread this towards the end of the year and recap it and maybe do a recap on this channel. I don't know. I do want to reread this one and get back into the world because I absolutely loved it the first time. So I think those are all the questions. I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, the other one that I'm thinking of is just about like what is your best post of the year, but I haven't posted on my blog in so long that I don't know. I could say my favourite video. I don't know. A recap of the Bridge Kingdom. But anyway, that's the mid-year book freakout tag. Thanks for watching. Tell me what your best book of the year has been so far in the comments below, and I'll speak to you all in the next video. Bye.